Hey guys, how's it going?
Hoi hoi.
Yeah, I was just showing Jose some of my latest acquisitions, some of the stuff I've been buying lately. And this is my desk. This is where all the magic happens. This is where I edit the videos, where I put in the the graphics and everything, and I spend hours here.
Wow, that's some cool. You got like a miniature, like a music studio happening in your apartment, man. Look at that! Look at that soundboard! Look at that! Oh man, that is so cool.
Exactly, that's what I wanted to show you. I mean, that's one of the reasons I haven't been buying quite as many comics as I had lately, because I've been kind of putting together a portable studio. The whole idea is eventually maybe we're going to start like a podcast, like a nerd podcast or something.
Or at the very least, we're going to be creating our own music, featuring the background music for some of our videos maybe. So it's going to be very cool.
So let's just start over here, over on this side here, where I got my Volca module. It's a mini synthesizer, very powerful one. Doesn't look like much, but it is actually quite powerful. And then I've got my Pro FX Mackie 4 channel mixing board. I've got my Maschine MK4. I haven't even started learning how this thing works yet.
Oh, crap.
It is a synthesizer, but it does a whole lot more than that. And then we get on over here, and I've got my my Roland TR8 and my Roland TB3. Then I've got my software, my digital audio interface, all this stuff. The red box down there, that's the digital audio interface, and it comes with software and stuff. So yeah, a lot of stuff. So yeah, I think we're going to hopefully create some really cool music. I just want to show you a little bit about what this stuff can do. I'm just going to just quickly show you what it does here. I got my, what do we got here? I got my drum machine. Does that. My bass TV3, add this. Take them out. Starts with that. You can just keep adding. So, anyways, you get the idea. So yeah, I keep adding to it. So,
and all of a sudden you find yourself in a club and you're just dancing the night away, man. Yeah, it's like party.
And the last thing I want to show is just the digital audio interface, because it came with some really nice software. And as you can see here, I got my my Kraft Dinner, and you'd be surprised what you can do with a box of Kraft Dinner when you need to, eh, Jose?
As a sound effect, man, you know from Star Wars, man, they created those sound engineers, created some funky sounds to integrate into the movie.
So let me bring this over here, show you what it can do here, see if maybe I can focus this a bit. Just give me a moment here. Yeah, so anyways, with the the software that comes with the equipment, you do all kinds of funny things with it, which is kind of cool. Like, for example, here's my Kraft Dinner. And then maybe I'll add a little bit of maybe some drums from the TR8 over there. And then add more drums. I don't know if you can hear that. Maybe add a bit of bongos as well. It's all layering. You'll add more and more instruments.
It's like you're making a good gumbo, man. Adding ingredients to add the flavor.
Yeah. And more bongos.
You're an old drummer, Paul. You're really adding the percussion to this track.
Yeah. Now I'll add a bit of hi-hats here. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's there. Some bass. Now we're getting somewhere, eh?
Oh yeah, you're getting there, man. Adding the flavor.
What do we got here? Okay, so maybe with a synth.
And all of a sudden you find yourself in clubland.
Now it's starting to sound a bit better and a little bit more synth.
Alright, let's get some high energy RPM going.
And finally some hi-hats. Some clapping. Anyways, you get the idea. Hopefully it'll go somewhere, but that's what happens when you spend a whole crap load of money and you don't know what you're doing.
Learning on the fly.
That's right. So anyways, we got a good show for you tonight. I think we got some great books, don't we?
Oh, we sure do. We always do.
Yeah, so we're going to not waste any more time. Just thought you might want to see something different for a change. We're going to head over there. We're going to get set up. And yeah, I think you're going to really like what we got to show you tonight. Okay, so we got Jose starting it off tonight, and he's not going to mess around tonight. He's starting off with a serious book right off the bat. Jose, man, that is a really nice copy of the Mighty Avengers. Wow, beautiful.
Yeah, Avengers issue 69 from October of 69. Of course, you know me, it's a key book. Not a big key, but it does feature the first appearance of the Squadron Sinister. Yeah, this is a Fan Expo book. Actually, all the books that I'll be featuring in this episode are books I didn't get a chance to feature in a previous episode. They're from the Fan Expo. So, in this issue, the Avengers are unwittingly drafted by Kang the Conqueror to fight in the Grandmaster's Games. Now, the first version of the Squadron Sinister was formed by the Elder of the Universe known as the Grand Master.
Nice.
Yeah, as pawns to battle the champions of the time-traveling Kang the Conqueror, he chose heroes from the superhero team, the Avengers. Yeah, the Grandmaster creates 4 villains: Dr. Spectrum, Hyperion, Nighthawk, and the Wizard to face the heroes Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, and Goliath. Yeah, I love this cover of this book. I have a weakness for really for good battle covers, and this is a terrific grade A top-notch battle cover in my opinion, because of the different size of the combatants involved within the image. It gives it a nice scale, and it's nicely framed within the confines of the cover here, which I always appreciate visually. Yeah. Now, when I was contemplating having this book slabbed, as I do when I get a good price on a book, I went out and I checked to go collect, and I found that the high end, the 9.2 and 9.4 copies, the volume of sales is rather low and slightly negative. Yeah, copies around more my level of this book at the 8.5 and 8.0 grades are, for the lack of better words, all over the place.
Yeah?
Yeah, and averaging between $100 and $130 US at those grades. Now, oddly enough, this book's market behavior more closely resembles that of a modern variant than that of a late Silver Age, early Bronze Age key, perhaps fitting the quirky nature of the Grandmaster himself. For here on out, I think any potential upside for this book is more likely to come from the appearance of Nighthawk than from the Grandmaster himself.
Yeah.
The 49th overseas price breaks for this book are $67, $144, and $215 US in the 8, 9, and 9.2 grade splits. Again, a Fan Expo book I picked up from the Big P Pendragon. Excuse me. He had all of his bins, in other words, his long boxes marked at either 25 or 50% off from price sticker price there.
Yeah.
So this was one of those books that was 25% off of that. So like you know, that means I basically paid what, you know, like $30 Canadian, which is no money really. I mean, it's probably my bargain book of the con. You know. I think anytime you can pick it up for a nice discount from that, it's a good price, and that's why I was contemplating slabbing it. So, you know, I'd be it all in at under $100 Canadian, and I could make money on this book, but it doesn't have the price appreciation that, you know, would make me comfortable spending the extra bucks that would cost to slab this book. But again, a very nice pickup when you think about it. You know, $67 US in the 8.0 grade, and I paid $30. I mean, that's less than half of price fair market value for grade. Again, bargain book of the con for me on this pickup. And a terrific battle cover. Love it.
Yeah, you couldn't go wrong this year at the Fan Expo. A lot of good deals we had. All the major players were there. Obviously, Pendragon was there. Big B. Planet Hobby was there. Harley Yee was there, showing off his wares.
Yeah, exactly. Gotham Central was there.
Gotham Central, Eggenland. So all the major players were there, and some good deals we had, that's for sure. So you couldn't go wrong this year, that's for sure.
On a personal, I find it particularly satisfying getting a discount on a book on a dealer that's not really known for giving deals on books.
That's for sure.
That's me.
Anyways, that's a great book, Jose. A fantastic start. Fantastic. Okay, next up, this is one of my acquisitions. I actually picked this up at the Toronto Comic Book Show. I think it was in late July, something like that, the last Toronto Comic Book Show. But anyways, I'm not going to spend too much time on this because Jose's shown this previously. It's Marvel Spotlight #1 from November 1971. A very nice clean copy. I picked it up at Hagenland, and I picked it up in their $10 bin. And it is a very clean book. It's like I said, maybe a mid or higher grade, somewhere along that line. And you know, for $10, you can't go wrong.
You can't go wrong. It's a #1 issue. These kind of anthology titles, Marvel Spotlight, Marvel Feature, Marvel Premiere, Astonishing Tales, those are titles that you can go mine a lot of keys from them. There's major keys. I mean, first appearance of the Defenders, first appearance of Iron Fist. So
yeah,
these are, I mean, this is not the first appearance of Red Wolf. I believe he appears in the Avengers. But like I said, it's a good #1 issue, and you know, it's within the mushy middle. It's something above a 6 and probably slightly under an 8. So
exactly,
something like a 7, 7.5. Yeah, this is a discounted book because, I mean, again, these things were like the publication numbers on them are probably fairly high, especially for a #1 issue.
Yeah.
So they do survive. They're out there in the market in the mid grades. I mean, if you're going investment wise for a book like that, I mean, I wouldn't consider anything under a 9.2, 9.4 from an investment grade standpoint. But from somebody just adding, you know, kind of like depth to their collection, picking up a book like this for $10 is a no-brainer.
Yeah, I like the terminology, mushy middle. That's about it. For $10, so hell, you can't go wrong. That's for sure.
Can't go wrong.
Okay, we are going way back here, way back in the golden age, and it's always fun when we get to show one of these books, Jose, and I think Jose probably shows more of them than any of us here.
Yeah, you know what, and that's to kind of disprove the kind of old axiom that you think, you know, old is gold. And you know what, it's a sea out there of stuff. I mean, for example, the recently Toronto Comic Book Show, I saw a really nice copy of a Shock Suspense title, you know, featuring a nice Good Girl Bondage cover from one of the dealers that's regularly there, you know, the Batcave, and it was a very nice copy. Now I would have loved to have had that, but he also had a $1,200 price sticker on that.
Wow.
This book exemplifies that, you know what, just because something is over 70 years old, that doesn't mean it will cost an arm and a leg. I mean, there's a lot of titles out there when you go on, say, off-brand, so to speak. You know, Shock Suspense is one of those kind of premier titles, so it does command a premium. But, you know, I find myself talking in this book, you know, about a book that I know very little to nothing about. This is Target Comics, published by Funnies Incorporated, Novelty Publications, Star Publications, and Paul mentioned it. This is Volume 7, Issue number 8 from October of 1946. Very little I have no knowledge of this publisher. They did feature a whole bunch of anthologies, so there's a little bit of this and that. I've seen these books in the wild. I mean, the last Toronto Comic Book Show, guys at Hagenland had a couple of low-grade copies with not very attractive titles to it. I mean, you do not have to spend an arm and a leg. And then I go into that theme of, you know, try to find something that interests you. For example, you know, we all know that, you know, that kind of era, World War II, Golden Age kind of superhero books, they command a vast premium because the vast market demand is for superhero stuff to the exclusion of almost every other genre. But if you're looking for that era, you know, there are other genres to invest in or to look at anyway. Crime, horror, sci-fi, fantasy, and for me, good girl covers are a vast appeal to me. So here we have kind of like a crime cover here, a very attractive crime cover. I love the way that silhouette that from the antagonist falls upon the kind of couple there with the gun literally to the guy's head.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a very appealing cover. I gotta be honest, this mud kind of brown cover, background cover is not exactly that appealing to me. And it does feature kind of like, you know, that arm that the guy is, you know, kind of receding into the background is a little, what Oliver Peck from Ink Master would call a little janky there.
Yeah.
It's just not right. It's supposed to be receding in space, but there is a kind of a problem aesthetically or looking at it from it. But outside of that little kind of, you know,
looks
kind of
great.
thing, it's a great looking book and terrific nick. Again, picked up from the Big P. Again, 25% discount from price. So this was $60. I picked it up for $45 Canadian, which is a few bucks over, you know, let's say $33 US. I mean, the latest 49th Overstreet Bright Breaks at the 8.99.2 splits for this book are $67, $94, and $120 US. This is a very good copy, above 6. I would say a fine plus, maybe even pressed a fine, very fine. So 6.5, 7. I mean, for that kind of price, $33 US. The price at a 6.0 in the latest grade is $36. So within a few bucks of that. But so if it comes down to 7, it's a $50 book US all day long. Again, I got it for a stacked discount. I mean, whenever I'm paying below grade for a 7-year-old Golden Age book with an attractive cover like this and a good grade, wow, yeah, it's a great pickup for me.
Yeah, we're talking a book that's approaching 75 years old for that price, and I gotta say, I'm really impressed with the condition.
Oh, yeah.
The corners are pretty damn sharp considering the age. Nothing on the spine to speak of as far as wear goes.
A few little kind of rubbings and little ticks here and there, but yeah, overall, no major color break creases on the cover. I mean, it's terrific.
No color fading. I mean, it looks fantastic. So yeah, Jose, that is a spectacular book, and I'm glad you brought it in, and great price.
A great addition to my Golden Age stuff.
Okay, this is another one of my pickups, and this is another one of my pickups from the Toronto Comic Book Show, and I picked it up at Hagenland. Now, of all the books I picked up at the last TCBS, I have to say I'm probably the most proud of this one.
I would second that motion, man.
Yeah, and for more than one reason. This book is old. It's from May 1962, and as the price tag suggests, I bought this for $5. He had this in the $5 bin.
Wow. This is, I have some general knowledge about this book. This is from the Archie Adventure series. Mm-hmm. Archie was trying to branch out and kind of go more than just Archie per se. That was one of their attempts. I know a little bit about this title in the sense that I had a copy of Jaguar issue number 1, mm-hmm. which I flipped at the Toronto Comic Book Show. I flipped that book, an issue 1 of Betty and Me, and an issue 14 of Jessie, mm-hmm. Queen of the Teens, to the Batcave, because I know he's a big Archie fan, and he likes those type of books, and I picked up a really good horror mm-hmm. mag that we'll feature in our Halloween episode in a couple of months. Yeah. But this is an amazingly good cover with
weeks.
Great eye appeal. Now, viewers might not be able to see this. The major blemish, if you're talking condition report on this book, is that it's got a subscription crease
right down the center.
Right down the center. You can kind of notice it on the Jaguar title itself. Mm-hmm. It runs around right about halfway through the U. But other than that, it's a terrifically good looking, clean copy. A terrific eye appeal on the image. I wish I had this book. It's so much as I would buy it at twice the price.
Bargain at 3 times the price. And if you look at the spine, it's really astounding. There's only like 3 spine ticks on the entire spine, and it's from 62.
And again, it just speaks to, I guess, market demand and the mm-hmm. irrational kind of nature of that thing. When you don't have a lot of market demand for a particular title, I mean, it speaks to that, like the price mm-hmm. for the prices that I was quoting for that Target comics book that we just featured there. Mm-hmm. Same thing here, the Jaguar title. It's a good looking book. I mean, go through the what I would encourage anybody when they're researching, go through something like the Grand Comics database, or Go Collect, or mm-hmm. Comic Book Realm, and check out a title and just go through the covers and mark down the ones that appeal to you mm-hmm.
Visually,
and then when you're at a con or at your local mm-hmm. comic book show, these things will pop up and you'll just be able to be right there and snap them up, and especially at $5, man. Wow.
There's a bit of yellowing on the pages. Obviously, when a book gets that old, it's to be expected.
Yeah, I mean, it's older than us, and it's probably in better condition than us. I mean, this is from 1962. Wow. I mean, 50-plus-year-old book, and terrific, mm-hmm. Nick. If it didn't have the subscription crease, well, you probably might not be able to pick it up for $5. But again, I don't see this being, a $20, $25, $30 book. But
in the mid-grade, it lists between $30 and $50 on the Comic Book Realm, and in the high grade, it's over $100, $120. But again, that's the Comic Book Realm, so you do need to take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, but I mean, at $5, that's a no-brainer.
No-brainer. My Bargoon acquisition. Okay, next up we got a really nice copy of Batman 194, and this is one of Big Mike's books. Wow, Mike, fantastic looking book. Where'd you get this from?
Oh, this is a B&V find, absolutely. What can I say? I don't see it that often, and it was there. When you get into the older Batmans, they get expensive in the higher grades, so I thought I would just snatch that, see what it looked like once I got it home, because they're always roughed up when the bags and boards that they come in. Not bad. I give it about I give that about a fine minus 5.5. I only paid about $26 for this, but come on, you would see that on the wall for $35 easily.
What I find really cool about it is the unconventional Batman logo, because normally that's obviously not the kind of Batman logo you would see at the time.
It kind of like that Aquaman with second appearance of Black Manta, where it's part of the image. Here, the Batman thing is getting crushed by what this dude that's fighting the Batman there.
Exactly.
Cool cover. Actually, in a condition front, an all red cover like that is going to be nice to judge as far as condition, because you're going to see any kind of ticks on the cover. As you
And
can
you
see,
do.
you got some stress marks right where the staples are. That's to be expected. But overall, no major flaws. Yeah, about a mid grader, 5.56. I'd agree with that grade.
Yeah, and for August '67, and okay, this is Carmine Infantino, Murphy Anderson, and a couple other guys. So there's 4 people working on the cover of this book, even way back then.
How do you get 4 artists working
I
on
don't know. It's
one
almost
cover?
like one guy did the lettering, one guy did Batman,
Well-
the other guy did the villain, and then someone else probably did the lettering. I'm guessing.
Carmine Infantino was a big legend who died in the last few years. He was a big guy, editor, creator of a lot of characters. He redesigned the Flash for the Silver Age and
Batman
Showcase.
guy.
And Murphy Anderson was their script guy. He was the writer in a lot of titles. So those 2 big guys are giants in the DC side of
They
things
got all
in the
credit covered.
Silver Age. And like they had lasted quite a while from the Silver Age to the Bronze Age. Like, I mean, they were the guard there at DC.
Anyways, Mike, that is a fantastic book.
Great cover.
Thanks.
Thank you. And my oldest Brad.
Oldest
My
book in your oldest
oldest
Batman in your
Not
collection,
My
yeah.
oldest book, my oldest Batman.
Oh, went low with that title. Good stuff.
Yeah,
Thanks for bringing it in, Mike.
thank you.
Okay, I thought I'd just throw this in there, just for the hell of it. I mean, I picked this up at RetroWare a couple months ago. I mean, obviously, most of us can never afford an X-Men #1, so this is the X-Men #1 facsimile. I think it's kind of cool that they're coming out with some of the key books, the key #1 issues in this format, so the ones of us that can own it can have something that's very similar. What do you think?
I think, but why wouldn't they? Did they issue this in the True Believers series where you
They
could have
did,
picked it up for
yeah.
$1?
They did.
I mean, from that standpoint, I mean, the cover price on this is what, $3-4?
Yeah, but other than that, it's almost an exact carbon copy of what the original issue looked like in the day, including the old advertisements on the inside pages, exactly like they were back in the day.
But isn't that what you're getting the True Believers set, or no?
Honestly, I don't own any of the True Believers. I never picked up not a single one, so I
I'd
can't
be honest,
comment.
I own a handful of them, but I
Yeah.
haven't really kind of like opened them and checked them out as far as to check out
Yeah.
exactly if they're a true facsimile
Yeah.
or if they're just,
But these are carbon copies of the original series, front to back. I thought it was cool, and I've always been a big fan of the X-Men since, realistically, I don't believe I'll be buying an original X-Men #1, at least not anytime soon.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, why not, eh?
why not?
Did you have you picked up any of them?
Of these ones, no. I mean, I have, like I said, a handful of the True Believers one, about
Yeah.
half a dozen or so of one, the titles that I really like, kind of thing. But for $1, you couldn't go wrong with
Yeah.
those.
I also picked up the Miss Marvel #1 as well in this format, which I don't know why I bothered, because I've got 2 of the original Miss Marvel #1s. Why I need a facsimile, I don't know.
Yeah.
But what the hell, eh? Can't hurt. Okay, so Jose is bringing it home tonight, and as per usual, he's not going to disappoint. He's coming in with a really, really nice, amazing Spider-Man, and a significant Amazing Spider-Man, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I'm not going to go into an in-depth analysis like I normally would on a book. This is Amazing Spider-Man issue number 114 from November of 1972. It's not specifically singled out in the latest Overstreet price book because, I mean, in a way, it's a minor key. This is the second appearance of Hammerhead, first cover. Okay, and as I mentioned in a previous episode when we spoke in depth about the Alpha to the Omega to this book, which is Amazing Spider-Man 113, first
Yeah.
appearance of Hammerhead. This is the book that has the market demand. It's the darling of the hobby. Again, when you're speaking to market forces like that, the market is going to decide what the market wants and what it likes. Okay.
Yeah.
In this case, as I spoke at length about it in that previous episode, speaking about 113, the market demand is with this book. I mean, I guess to some extent you can figure, Hammerhead is featured prominently right front and center on the cover, and it is a tougher book to find in grade because of the kind of the black cover.
Yeah.
It's a terrific picture pane battle cover. Again, like Avengers 69, I picked this up because it's a terrific battle cover depicting old Webhead there fighting it out against Hammerhead and his goons there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good grade book in the sense that it's about a VF, maybe a VF plus, so about an 8.85 grade wise. It's got some slight blunting and a little kind of, edge wear along the spine and along the, the edges of the book. I mean, look, I wouldn't have picked this up at this price. At $150 Canadian, no way. That is
No.
fair market value beyond then some.
Yeah.
So it's in the 50% discount bin. So I actually paid $75 Canadian for this book, which converted is currently about $55 US.
So it looks like Darcy was actually doing some wheeling and dealing at the Fan Expo.
Well, I mean, at a 50% discount, yes. Then it brings it down to 75, which is, like I said, still I paid about a third more than the issue 113 in direct terms for this thing. I actually picked up a second copy of 113 for $50. So I picked up two copies, and that was a full VF from Retro.
Yeah.
Again, the 49th price breaks for this book are the same exactly as 113. At the 99.2 grade splits, it's $41, $76, and $110 US. But I would mention in the wild, in the market right now, this is one of those titles specifically for this book that there's a wide variance as far as pricing on this book. So I've seen some prices, that are, somewhat okay as far as that, and then there's some wildly overblown pricing as far as, way beyond fair market for this book. It's not a key in the sense that, it's a first appearance. It's the first appearance of a cover of a villain that I think is completely undervalued as far as that's concerned. And like I said, I picked it up because it's a great battle cover, and it's from that favorite era of mine, the classic house style, the picture painting kind of like Bronze Age covers that really appeal to me. So it's a good acquisition, but like I said, I would caution you, wait for the copy that you want in your grade and do not overpay for it.
For sure. Yeah, and that's a great way to end off the episode. I noticed tonight we didn't actually do our new book segment. We normally do that, but
I mean, we featured that kind of facsimile X-Men #1, but I mean, it's one of those things that we just wanted to feature some books that we hadn't had a chance to feature. For me, Fan Expo books, and for you, some Toronto Comic Book Show books.
We had a couple Golden Age goodies. Oh, sorry, is 62 considered golden? Or
No, it's early Silver
early
Age.
Silver, yeah. Okay. All right, so my mistake. But anyways, I hope you like what you saw. I think we showed some pretty cool books tonight, a couple minor keys.
And in your sense for that Jaguar, and my sense for that Target Comics, these are kind of the books that add interest and depth to a collection. It's not just about superhero guys. I mean, there's tons of other stuff out there. It's a vast ocean you're fishing in, not a small pond. So cast your nets wide and far, and there is a lot of interesting stuff out there if you look for it. Just do a little bit of homework and research, and do not overpay for something, because there's a lot of stuff, like I said, that I do not have a lot of market knowledge on, but you still have to ground yourself so that you do not make a mistake money-wise.
Absolutely, yeah. So yeah, guys, so if you like what you saw, leave a comment. I think this is probably a shorter episode tonight, but hopefully you enjoyed it. Leave a comment, and we will definitely respond. Sometimes it takes us a little while, but we always respond, and we will see you next time.
Hoi hoi, happy collecting.